Hello there, it's Samantha. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello. My name is Samantha and this is my channel where I talk all about books, and yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. Oh, also, I'm currently in Mexico doing my year abroad, and I'm in my last semester there. Although actually, like, when I'm filming this video, I'm not, but like when you see this, I'll be back in Mexico. Today I'm coming to you with 10 books that I want to read in 2020. I thought I would do 10 because that seems easier, that seems achievable. Even though last year I did a video of 10 books that I wanted to read that year, and that didn't happen. So, you know, we'll see. I'm gonna start off with the books which I want to read, but I'm not like so excited for, but it's more like, come on, Samantha, like everyone else has read these, you need to do it soon. That's like the kind of vibe we're going for. So the first book that like I want to read, but also like everyone's read it so I should read it, is the one, the only, The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. I don't know how many times I've put this on my TBR and then not read it, but it's a ridiculous amount of times. This is one that I should get to this year for sure because I love historical fiction. I barely ever read it, but when I read it, I love it because it's great. And I just think I'm really gonna enjoy this. Everyone loves it, and I think it's gonna break my heart, but be amazing at the same time. So this is one that I want to read, but also I need to because everyone's read it. The next book on my list, which I want to read, but also I've just owned it for a while and I definitely should read it, is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is an adult book following a group of college students who I think kill someone. It should be an interesting read. It's very beloved, and my friend recommended it to me years ago and I bought it. I think it might have been 2017. I think it was right before I went to university. And I still haven't picked it up because, you know, it's an adult book and it intimidates me. However, when I come back in the summer, I want to read it. So yeah, this is definitely one that I'm not going to read anytime soon, but I do want to read it at some point this year. The next book on my list is another one that I need to read because it's very beloved, and that is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This book is set in Barcelona, I believe, which is actually where I originally wanted to do my year abroad, and I remember saying in a video that like the whole reason I bought this book was because I was going to move to Barcelona, but I didn't. I moved to Mexico. Anyway, I don't really know what this book is about, but I just know that it's very beloved. It's an adult book, and if you couldn't tell by the last 3 books, I'm very much trying to branch out into adult books because I read exclusively YA pretty much, and I think I should try and read something different. So yes, another one that I need to read. I'm actually so excited to read this book and this trilogy, but I'm gonna have to wait till the summer because I'm about to leave my books again. But that book is The Final Empire, which is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I've owned this book for the longest time. I own the whole trilogy because I bought them used in a charity shop. And so yeah, I own the whole trilogy. I'm so ready to binge this trilogy because in the last few years, I've really found that the best way for me to read a series is to binge read it. So the fact that I already own all 3 books, it's just ridiculous that I haven't read it yet. So I definitely want to get to this again in the summer when I'm back. So I feel like this video is kind of irrelevant, but you know what? It's fine. We're going to see if I live up to it. So yeah, this is one of my summer reading plans, is to read this whole trilogy. The next book that I really want to get to this year is again one that I own, and I think I'm probably going to listen to it on audio, but I actually left it downstairs. But that is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I started this book forever ago. This is another adult book. A lot of people think it's young adult, but it is not. It has very adult themes, so it's not for children or young adults. Although technically, I still consider myself a young adult, even though I'm 21, but it's fine. But Nevernight follows our main character, Mia Corvair, who I think her whole family has been killed, and she basically sets out to go to this assassin school, and it's never night there. It's always daytime. I don't really know anything about the story. I actually read like 80 pages of this book a long time ago, but I really struggled to get into it. So I'm gonna try it on audio because that's what I've heard is the best way to do it. That's what I'm gonna try at some point. So I will probably read that at some point in the future very soon. Another one which I left downstairs is, of course, Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas. This is the 7th and final book in the Throne of Glass series. I'm very excited to get to it. I just need to finish reading Tower of Dawn first. I'm gonna be listening to this one on audio as well because I'm not bringing it with me, but I'm very excited to finally be done with this series, which used to be my favorite, but is definitely not anymore. I still really love it and it has a place in my heart, but it's just not what it used to be for me. There are new series which have replaced it for like the top spot. I still love books 1 to 4 a lot, but I really feel like the story goes downhill after that. Another one that I really want to get to this year is one that I already mentioned last year, and that is 1984 by George Orwell. I do own this one as well. These are all books that I own. I'll do like an anticipated releases video at some point, who knows. But anyway, another one that I want to read is 1984 because I have just been meaning to read this book forever, and I read Animal Farm in 2018, I think, and I really enjoyed it. So I really want to read more of his work, and just I think 1984 is just such a classic, so I definitely want to read that at some point very soon. but again, it will probably be in the summer unless I listen to the audiobook. Now we're moving on to like the 3 books, which I'm going to be getting to like very soon because I'm actually taking these with me to Mexico. And the first one is The Star of the Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I don't really know that much about this book. All I know is that it follows our main character Zachary, who's in his university library one day and he's doing some research and he finds a book which happens to have a story from his childhood in it, which he doesn't, I don't think he's ever told anybody, but for some reason this story is published in a book in his library and it's kind of a mystery. He's trying to find out what's going on and I'm very excited to read this. I think I'm going to start it on the plane possibly. So yes, I'll hopefully be reading this in January and let you know how I found it. Another one that I'm very excited about is Into the Crooked Place by Alexandra Christo. I again don't know that much about this book because I have really been enjoying going to my books not really knowing anything, but I do know that this follows 4 characters who all come from different backgrounds, and basically this new magic appears in the city where they live. These 4 strangers have to kind of band together to fight against this magic. I really don't know, but this is the first book in a fantasy duology, so yeah, I'm really excited to read this book and hopefully, if I enjoy it, the sequel whenever it comes out. But also this cover, it's just beautiful. This is coming to Mexico with me as well. And finally, this is the next book that I'll be reading after I finish rereading the second book, and I will finally finish off this trilogy, and I cannot wait. But that is, of course, The Toll by Neil Shusterman, the third and final book in the Arc of the Scythe trilogy. The first book is obviously Scythe, the second book is Thunderhead, and this is the third. I love Scythe so much. I actually just finished rereading it. It was the first book that I read this year. It's one of my favorite books of all time, so I'm very excited to finally get to this book and find out how it concluded, because I didn't want to buy this when I was in Mexico, so I was waiting till I came home. Unfortunately, I didn't read it in December, but I will be reading it very soon. If you don't know what the Scythe series is about, basically it's set in this world where people can't die naturally anymore. So there are no accidents anymore and there are no diseases, like they're all curable, and if you die for some reason you're brought back to life. But the way that they control population is through these people called scythes, who have the ability to glean people, which means that they kill people, but once they've been killed by a scythe, that's it. There's no resurrection for them. They are dead. And it follows our 2 main characters, Citra and Rowan, who I think are both 16 at the time, and they're approached by a scythe to become his apprentices, and they do, and so it delves into the inner workings of the scythedom and the corruption within it, and it's wonderful. It's a masterpiece. So I'm very excited to finish rereading Thunderhead and finally read this book and conclude the trilogy. So those are the 10 books that I'm very much looking forward to reading in the year. I really hope I can do it. Please let me know what books you're looking forward to reading this year down below. Let me know any of your reading goals for this year. I don't really have any specific reading goals apart from my Goodreads challenge, which is to read 45 books. But apart from that, I haven't really set myself any goals, just because obviously, like, it's going to be the same sort of situation that I had for the second half of last year, where my reading is not really the same as it normally is, because obviously I'm going to be in Mexico and I'm going to be separated from my books. So I don't really have any goals apart from to read 45 books. So yeah, let's see if I can do it. And then maybe I'll make some goals in the summer when I'm back. For the time being, I'm not really trying to worry that much about reading. I'm just gonna read when I want to read and hopefully finish the 4 books that I'm taking to Mexico with me in the 5 months that I'm there. I'm really not trying to put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm gonna mainly focus on trying to read a lot of books during the summer and when I feel like reading. I do have a lot of books on my Kindle as well. Well, on my phone, on the Kindle app on my phone. But anyway, that's all that I have for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please hit a thumbs up. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe down below, and I will see you very soon with another video. Bye!